All right, let's look at Cramer's rule. This Cramer guy, Gabriel Cramer, was a Swiss, I believe, mathematician who came up with this method of solving systems of linear equations. So we'll start with what's called a 2 by 2 system, because I have an x and a y. So notice we have the familiar A, B, C, D here. And what we do in the beginning is we figure out a determinant of that matrix. So that's called the coefficient matrix. So let me write that down. Coefficient matrix. So that just means we're going to take this, what we did in a previous lesson, and look at A, B, C, D, and we're going to take the determinant of that. And this is called the coefficient matrix. So we need to figure out the determinant of the coefficient matrix. Then, this is kind of cool, what we do is we figure out what our x is by dividing by the determinant of A. If this is a determinant of A, the determinant of A, we're going to take what were the constants, these constants, and we're going to put them in place of A, or in place of the x coefficients. So let's do that. So EF goes here, and over on the other side to the right, we're going to put the B and the D, the y coefficients. And then we're going to take the determinant of that. So this is going to give us actually our solution for x, which is a lot of students, once they see this, they're like, why didn't they teach us how to do this in Algebra 1? So it's a little bit beyond the scope of Algebra 1, but it goes to show you that there's just always a next level. So the other thing we could do is we could say y, we're going to divide by the coefficient matrix, as always. We're going to take the determinant of, we're going to leave A and C alone this time. And we're going to change out the Y's from B and D to E and F. Trying to color code this to make it a little bit more interesting, I guess. So a lot of students don't believe, but once you do this, you can solve any system, any 2 by 2 matrix, any system of equations where there's two equations with two unknowns. So some students love this, and they can't believe they haven't learned it before now, and other students don't like it, and they can continue to use their calculator and get a reduced row echelon form. Okay, so now let's use Cramer's rule to solve this system of equations. It's a 2 by 2, right? 1, 2 by 1, 2. And these are the constants. This is another thing that kind of goes without saying, but notice these are all written in standard form. 9x plus 4y equals the constant -6. So if these are not written in this form, then Cramer's rule will not work. So most of the examples you'll be looking at in your classes will involve that. So step one, we have to figure out the determinant of the coefficient matrix. So let's do that first. Determinant of coefficient matrix. So what is the coefficient matrix? Well, that involves the 9 and the 4 up here, 9 and 4. And then in the second row, you have a 3 and a -5. So let's write the 3 and the -5. So what is this determinant? Well, let's multiply forward. 9 times -5 is -45. And then we're going to multiply backwards. 4 times 3 is 12. So we're going to subtract that 12. So the 12, let's stay color coordinated here. So 45 minus 12, let's see. negative 45 minus 12. That equals, let me switch back my color. It's going to give us a negative 57, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, negative 57. Let's make my 5 look a little bit more like a 5 here. So that is the determinant of the coefficient matrix right here. So we're going to use that to determine what our x and our y values are of the solution to this system up here. So let's go ahead and get the x. So the x is going to be, take the coefficient matrix, negative 6 and negative 21, and replace it with the x coordinates, or the x coefficients, and leave the y's alone. So we're going to leave those there because we're solving for x now. So that becomes a 4 and a negative 5, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 4 and negative 5. All right, so go ahead and figure out the determinant of that matrix and then divide it by the negative 57 from up here. Okay, so let's see. Determinant of this matrix ends up being, let's see, negative 6 times negative 5 is 30. So we're going to write that down here. Minus, and then we're going to subtract 4 times negative 21. Well, that's negative what? 84. And this whole thing gets divided by that negative 57 that we found out as the determinant of the coefficient matrix. So let's go ahead and simplify that. Using my calculator, let's see, I'm coming up with a 114 divided by negative 57. And that tells me that the x is negative 2. All right, so far so good. Next, let's go and figure out our y's. So our y's are going to be, we're still going to divide by that negative 57, but we're going to leave the x coordinates where they were, or I'm sorry, the x coefficients where they were, the 9 and the 3, and we're going to replace the y coefficients with the constants of this. I don't know how Cramer came up with this, but I'm sure he has a long proof of it. But it's a pretty cool thing. So let's go ahead and we'll take the determinant of the top, ultimately going to be divided by negative 7. So the top means we're going to have 9 times negative 21. Well, 9 times negative 21, that's what? Negative 189, my calculator tells me. And then I'm going to subtract from that negative 6 times 3. So that's negative 18. So let's subtract a negative 18. All right, so far so good. And when we subtract negative 18 from negative 189, I keep pausing, we end up with negative 171 divided by negative 57. And that tells me that my y is equal to 3. So we could use any system of solving this system right here. We could use our substitution method. We could use our elimination method. But Cramer's method tells us that we come up with negative 2 for our x and 3 for our y. Now, some students love this. Some students don't. The ones who do can't believe they didn't know how to do this back in Algebra 1. Other students, we're going to go ahead and continue to use our calculator to enter a 2x3 matrix for these and put it in reduced row echelon form, and it will come up with these solutions for us. X is negative 2 and y is positive 3. So hopefully you got value out of that. Share it with a friend who might need some extra coaching on it. But thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.